Okay, this is the review for our last test before the final. This is our, what do you call it? It's the exponential quiz. It's not going to be bad. Okay, so number one. Let's take a look at it. So number one, I multiplied the whole numbers. I got a 6, and then I added exponents. 3 and 4 makes 7. There's an invisible 1, and 2 makes 3. And then anything to 0 power is equal to the number 1. So 1 times 6 is 6, okay? 2, I went 4 squared, so I'm squaring it, right? So 4 squared is 16, and then I multiply exponents. I got 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8, and there's an invisible 1 here, so I get a z squared. Okay, number 3, I've got to do is here first, so I've got to cube it. So I get, first of all, I get 3 cubed is 27. I multiply exponents, x is 6, and then this is just 0. So anything 0 power is just 1, and so I cube 1, I get 1. Then I bring that down, I multiply. 27 times 5 is 135. I add exponents, I get a little 1 right here. Gives me x7, and then y to the 13th, okay? 4, I got to be careful of negative exponents, but I'm still going to add exponents. But first multiply whole numbers. 2 times 4 is 8. Negative 2 plus 5 is 3. 4 and a negative 3 is 1. That's it. Okay, 5, these two are the same, so I'm going to add those. I'm going to get a 8xy squared, and then on this one I've got to do the exponent first. 2 squared is 4, multiply exponents. x2, y4. They're not the same, so I don't multiply them, okay? 6, what I did on 6 is first I just reduced the whole numbers. I get a, let's see, by 5, so I get 5/3. That would be an x2 when I cancel x2 on the bottom. The y's, I'll bring this y down, y4, because it's negative, with a y2. I'll switch places. This one comes up z3, this one comes down z1, and then I go from there. X squared, oh, I forgot the squared there. Okay, good thing I looked. Y to the 6, because I combine those. One of these z's cancels one of these z's, z squared, okay? 7, I just multiplied that times that, that times that. I get an 8, x3, because it's an divisible 1, y, minus a 6, x squared, y squared, because of the y times y. 8, I'm just going to multiply, I'm going to FOIL. 3x times 2x, 6x. 3x times 5 is 15x. Negative 4x. Negative 10. Then I combine the two middle terms for an 11x. Okay? So I get 6x squared plus 11x minus 10. Okay? If that's a negative, it's 1 over 5th root of 32 cubed. 5th root of 32 is 2, because 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 32. Then I get a 2 cubed is 8, so I get 1/8. Okay, 1 over because of the negative, 7th root, because the bottom number is the root, x squared. Okay, I go just the opposite. That is to the 2/3 power, 2/3 power, okay? 12, I took 200, then I took a half of that, 100, then I took a half of that, and I get 50. Half of that, I get 25. Half of that, I get 12 and a half, and so forth and so on. It is obviously going to be decay. The asymptote is here at y equals 0. Domains all real numbers, and range is y is greater than 0. Okay, not equal to, but just greater than. On the back side, here's my equation. It increases, it multiplies, increases at a rate of 8.75 per year, but that has a decimal. That's 0.085. So my equation is 1200 beginning amount times 1 plus 0.085 to the t power. To get this, I just put in 10. I went 1200 times a 1.085 to the 10th power, because 10 days. And I just used my calculator. I went 1200 times 1.085 to the 10th. And I got, again, 2,713. And I can graph that on my 10th day. And to get the rest of my graph, I just took my 1200 and I multiplied times 1.085, and then multiply that times 1.085. And I'm just making these numbers. Multiply that times 1.085, and I just keep going 1, 2, 3, and I just put those in. Okay, 14. It's a half-life, so 1/2 half-life. I'll start with 10,000 grams. Now it has a half-life of 12 hours, so I like a 12 t over 12, okay? I like a fraction, okay? And then after 4 days is like 24 times 4, which is 96 hours. I put 96 into my formula. That's like, same thing as 4 days, like 8 of the 12-hour periods. So that I just put 10,000 times my 1/2 to the 8th power, or to the 96 divided by 12. Okay. Now on 15, we've got to be careful because there's two banks. Union Bank 3.75. I changed that to a decimal, right? 0.0375. Big Bank, change that to decimal 0.045. Okay. Now right off the bat, we're going to lose $1,000. It's a banking fee. So instead of investing 300,000, we're going to invest 299,000. Okay, we'll come back to that. Okay, so Union Bank, 300,000, 1 plus. Remember, here's our formula. Formulas are P times 1 plus R over N to the NT. That's our formula. And then I plugged it in. I'm doing it monthly, so I'm divided by 12 to the 12 times 10. There's our formula. My calculator gave me 438,242.27. I'll show you my calculator. 300,000. 1, 2, 3. That's right. 300,000 times 1 plus 0.0375 divided by 12, because we're going to do it monthly, to the power of 12 times 10. Whoops. 12 times 10. And I get an answer of, here it is, $436,242.27. Now, for Big Bank, they're going to take $1,000 right off the bat because they're going to give us a higher interest rate. So we lose $1,000, but that's the fee. So we put 299,000.045 because we changed it to decimal. Now it's quarterly. It's quarterly. You still end up making more money because the interest rate is higher. So when I put this in my calculator, I go 299,000 times 1 plus 0.045, because my interest rate divided by 4 is quarterly, to the power of 4 times 10 for 10 years. And I do get a bigger number because the interest, even though you have a fee, it still makes more money. Okay, that's all I have. If you have any questions, come see me. Good luck. We're going to do great, I'm sure.